Hello, today we're going to look at how to download the new Recon Blockage app and also how to configure it for the first time. As you can see on the screen, there'll be two icons here. In the upper left hand corner, you see the Recon Blockage app. That'll be what it looks like after we download it, and you'll also need the App Store if you have not downloaded the app yet. So the first thing you want to do is go to your Settings app on your iPad and make sure you're connected to an internet source. Once you have connected to that, you will then go into the App Store app and you will search Intelligent Egg. Hit search. You will see in the upper right hand corner there's a Recon Blockage Monitor. That is the new app that we want to be using for this spring. You'll either hit get or open if you already have it downloaded. In this case you would hit get and it would download onto your iPad. So once that is downloaded, like I said, on this screen it'll show up in the upper left hand corner. Now what we want to do is connect to our IAS blockage network. So if you go to your settings to actually run the configuration process, here you will see IAS blockages listed in our available networks, and you will want to connect to it. And as soon as it says IAS blockage and next to your Wi-Fi on the left hand side of your screen, you are good to go. Hit your home button to go back to your main page. Tap your Recon Blockage Monitor app, and the first time you go into it, you will see a screen where you can start the configuration process. Here I will be selecting Manifold View. I hit Next in the bottom right hand corner, and in this example I'm going to have 8 ECUs on my system. Hit Next in the bottom right hand corner. Once it finds all 8 ECUs, it'll ask you some setup questions. How many products are being monitored? I'll run through 2 ways to do this. The first way, I'm just going to do a simple setup with a single product and with 8 sections, so I don't need to change anything here. Hit Next in the bottom right hand corner. It brings me to my mapping of my ECUs to my towers on my screen. So you'll find your serial number that you want for tower number 1 in the list here. And so for example, I have a demo system here, but I will select 1, ECU number 1, and I'm going to have 12 sensors on that tower. I'm going to leave the name as 01. You can rename it if you'd like. I hit Next, and you can see it brings it to the next tower. I do need to select an ECU serial number still, but my number of sensors have already been checked to 12, so I didn't need to change that. I will hit Next again. Brings me to number 3, and Next, and number 4, Next, number 5, Next, number 6, Next, number 7, Next, and number 8. And once that's completed, it's all set up. I hit Next in the bottom right hand corner. We want to make sure you can tap each one of these ECUs, so I'm going to tap the number 1 in the upper left hand corner. It'll bring an exploded view. Here's where you could shut off runs or you can move them around, so it's literally a drag and drop function. If you're skipping ports or for some reason you didn't plug your sensors into ports 1 through 12, for example, but it will automatically assign them to the first 12 ports. Hit Apply in the bottom right hand corner. Hit Next in the bottom right hand corner. A couple more questions about your work switch. Is the implement operating in section control? With section control? Yes or no? Which ECU has the work switch attached to it? Here you will select what serial number that is, and again that will be a 4. Your work switch will have a 4-wire coming out of an ECU, and that will be the serial number you'll want to select for that. And then what mode is your implement currently in? Is it raised or lower? That will help you determine the state of the work switch. Hit Next, and here you can set your alarm delay for how long you want to wait for a blockage to occur before it actually gives you an audible alarm. Hit Done, and it will bring you to another screen where you can set up a few more settings. You can your blocked runs, whether you want that alarm on or not. Your mass flow indication is the number at the top of your screen, you can change to where that is alarming you if it falls outside of a certain amount of value. Some other options you have to choose from are to invert your work switch. So if your work switch is backwards, you can, if it says where it's in the ground when you're actually out of the ground, you can invert it there with that switch. And if you pick the wrong serial number, you can go in and alter it there as well. Your run direction also on your manifolds. If it's counterclockwise versus clockwise, you can change that down in the equipment info area. If you need to edit your configuration at any time, the bottom right hand corner is your edit config, and you can either change the number of sensors on any of them or move them around. If you hit next in the bottom right hand corner, it'll take you to this screen where you can tap on one and you can move ports around as well. And hit apply in the bottom right hand corner and done, and you would be done with your edit configuration. Hit blockage in your upper left hand corner. That'll bring you to your main run screen here. So if we want to go through and do a more advanced setup, that'll be next. So another way to get back to your settings is in your configuration process is this gear in the left hand side of your screen. Tap your gear, setup wizard on the bottom of the screen, and again we're going to choose manifold view for this example. If you hit next in the bottom right hand corner, again we're going to go with 8 ECUs, and we're going to run a dual shoot system here where we split some towers. So this is a little bit more complicated, but it still shouldn't take very long. So I still only have 8 ECUs that I'm going to split between 16 towers. Hit next in the bottom right hand corner. So I found my 8 ECUs. How many products are being monitored? I'm going to have 2 different products. I'm going to run my seed through one set of manifolds and my fertilizer through another set. How many sections are being monitored? Will be 16. Hit next in the bottom right hand corner, and here you'll see I populate 16 different manifolds even though I only have 8 ECUs. Okay, to start the naming process, tower number 1 is going to be on product A. I'm going to call this my seed, and tower or ECU 01 is going to be on that, and I'm going to have 12 sensors on that tower. I'm going to hit next. This is going to auto-populate the number of sensors for me. I'm still on product A. It's ECU number 2. Hit next. Just populated the sensors again. Number 3, still product A. It saves those every time. All I have to do is select the ECU serial number for each of these. And I finish with number 8. Hit next, and now I get to product B. You can see on the bottom of this pop-up it says is section on product A or B, and B is now highlighted. It is sharing the number 1 ECU in this instance. It's going to keep the number of sensors that I had before. Double check to make sure that's accurate. You can always change that if on your fertilizer runs there are less of them. And then we go through the same basic setup. And now it's complete. I hit next in the bottom right hand corner. One thing I should mention, if I hit back here, you can go to the previous screen. And if you saw on here that you messed something up, you can tap on any one of these and change the configuration. So just know that you can go back. Hit next. I'm going to tap on one of these, and I'm just going to show you that when you're attaching the ports, your sensors to the ECU, you want to go 1 through 24. So I have all of my seed on 1 through 12. I immediately start with the next available port, which would be 13. But even if it would be number 11 for my fertilizer, because I only have 10 sensors per tower, you would want to start on number 11 and not skip anything, because the software will automatically pick the next available port. We just happen to be using all 24 ports in this instance. So everything looks good there. I hit next in the bottom right hand corner. Again, if you have section control on your machine, you can tap yes, and that'll function a little bit differently as far as being able to tell if one of your sections is turned on or off. Make sure you select which serial number your ECU is connected to your work switch. So the work switch wire has 4 wires populating out of it instead of 2. It has the 2 white wires should be going to your work switch on your toolbar, and you'll want to select the ECU of the serial number that is attached to. And then what mode is the implement currently in, so is it raised or lowered when you're doing this. Select that, hit next, and hit done here, and you're back to being able to adjust some other settings. Things here, again, if you didn't see the first portion of the video, are your work switch over in the right hand corner. Here's where you can switch to a different ECU if you selected the wrong one. You can invert your work switch, so if it's opposite, where it says it's down instead of up or up instead of down, you can make that change. And also your run direction on your manifold, you can change that from counterclockwise to clockwise. So when you're done here in the upper left hand corner, you can go back to your blockage screen, and now it populates with all of your data here. Another area that I'd like to mention is our guide area. On the left hand side, it has the eye with the book. When you tap that, there's a number of resources for you: our operator's guide for the blockage, our troubleshooting guide, our quick reference guide. So all of these have some information in there where you can go in and help you diagnose any problems you may be having, or set up questions, or how to change configurations. The troubleshooting guide gives you a lot of good information on common things that you might be seeing, and some solutions to that instead of having to call someone. And the quick reference guide just kind of explains the screen on what all the numbers mean, so that's another good resource. And to get back, you just select the arrows in the upper left hand corner to get back to your main run screen. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your dealer or us directly at 701-356-9222. Thank you.